If you have ever stood in the skincare aisle, just staring at like 100 different products, feeling that distinct panic about whether you need a foaming gel or a heavy cream, you are not alone.
Oh, absolutely. It's overwhelming.
We're always told that finding the right routine is the key, but the real secret, the true deep dive, is that you first have to understand the foundational landscape of your own face.
Exactly. Knowing your skin type is the absolutely crucial first step.
Okay.
If you misdiagnose yourself, you end up buying products that actively work against your physiology.
Leading to clogged pores, breakouts.
Chronic breakouts, or just persistent irritation. The common pitfall is that people assume their skin is static, that what was true at 20 is still true at 40.
And that leads us to our mission today. We are going to debunk that myth of static skin. We're going to distill the core characteristics, give you the definitive, practical, at-home diagnostic methods.
And explain the ingredient mechanisms, the why behind the specific product swaps you need to maintain a truly balanced, healthy complexion one that changes and adapts as you do.
So we're looking at skin behavior across 3 key axes, right?
Right. Sensitivity, overall moisture levels, and most importantly, oil production, which is governed by what we call sebum. And while heredity determines our starting point, what the research consistently shows is that age, lifestyle, and environment will significantly redefine your skin type over time.
So we need to embrace continuous assessment.
Continuous assessment, absolutely.
Okay, so let's unpack this foundation with the basic classification. For anyone trying to categorize their complexion, let's quickly outline the core 5, starting with the most aspirational one.
That would be normal skin. This is really the ideal balance. It has a smooth texture, very few imperfections, and it's neither noticeably dry nor overtly oily.
It's just resilient.
Very resilient. It tolerates most products without complaint.
Okay, then we move to high oil production, oily skin.
Yes, this is characterized by excessive sebum production,
Right.
those natural skin oils. It's particularly concentrated in what we call the T-zone.
That's your forehead, nose, and chin.
Exactly. And the visible issues here are usually a constant shine, blackheads, and, enlarged pores.
Then the opposite end of that spectrum would be dry skin.
This type lacks both moisture, which is water, and natural oils, which is sebum. The feeling is tight, harsh, sometimes flaky.
And it can look a bit dull.
It often looks dull, and
I
because it
bet.
lacks that suppleness and moisture retention, it's often more prone to developing fine wrinkles early.
And then there's that notorious middle ground, combination skin.
This is often considered the most challenging because it forces you to manage 2 opposing problems at the same time.
You've got significant oiliness in the T-zone.
Combined with noticeable dryness around the cheeks and jawline, it's a real balancing act.
Finally, we have sensitive skin.
And this is defined by a high level of reactivity. It tends to respond pretty aggressively to products or environmental stimuli like harsh weather or even fragrances, with redness, burning, itching, or inflammation.
Knowing these 5 is so critical because the product requirements for each are just wildly different.
Worlds apart.
But how do you, the listener, definitively figure out where you land? Especially if you think your combination or maybe a little sensitive? We found the best way to test this at home is a 2-step process, starting with the simple bare face test.
First, preparation is key.
Yeah.
You wash your face with a mild, gentle cleanser and gently pat it completely dry.
And then, this is the important part, you have to avoid applying any products. No creams, no serums, nothing.
And here's where we ask for patience. You need to allow the skin to rest for a full 1 to 2 hours.
Why so long?
It gives your skin barrier time to normalize and return to its natural state without any interference from your routine. After that time passes, you just observe how it feels.
Okay, so what am I looking for?
If the skin feels comfortable and balanced, not tight, not slick, you're likely normal. If it feels tight or looks visibly flaky, you're dry.
And if you see a clear, oily sheen, especially in that T-zone,
You're oily. And of course, if you feel any redness or burning or itchiness creeping in, you are definitely dealing with sensitivity.
the second technique is a bit more visual, and it really helps confirm those combination types. It's the blotting paper test.
Right. You take a piece of blotting paper and gently press it onto different regions of your face, forehead, nose, cheeks.
And what are the key visual indicators here?
Well, if you see little to no oil absorbed onto the paper, you confirm dry skin. If you have moderate, evenly dispersed oil across all regions, just a slight film that points toward normal skin.
And the telltale sign for combination.
You'll see significant oil absorption on the paper from the forehead and nose, but very, very little from the cheeks. That's your definitive sign. And of course, widespread, rapidly spreading oil just confirms an oily skin type.
So combining those two tests gives you a really robust, reliable diagnosis.
It really does.
Okay, robust diagnosis secured. Now let's move into the fun part. What to buy and maybe what to throw out. Let's start with the problem of retention and stripping. So, dry skin.
For dry skin, the strategy is all about repair and replenishment. You must use creamy or moisturizing cleansers that actually add moisture, rather than stripping your skin's already low natural oils.
So you have to avoid those harsh foaming cleansers.
Absolutely. Anything that's drying or contains alcohol is a no-go.
And the moisturizing step is where we need to get a bit technical about the ingredients. The research points to 3 key molecules.
Correct. We want hyaluronic acid, or HA. It acts like a moisture magnet, attracting and holding up to 1,000 times its weight in water, pulling hydration into the skin.
Okay, so that's for hydration.
Then we want ceramides. These are lipids that act like the mortar between your skin cells. They repair a compromised skin barrier and prevent that precious water from escaping.
And then the last step.
And finally, rich emollient creams, which just mean they're softening and moisturizing, should be applied immediately to damp skin. This physically seals in the water from your cleanse.
I love that analogy. HA is the sponge, ceramides are the mortar, and the cream is the sealant. That's very sticky knowledge. What about lifestyle swaps?
Avoid hot showers.
Yeah.
Completely. Lukewarm water is much less stripping. And if you live in a cold or dry climate, investing in a humidifier for your bedroom, especially in winter, can make a tremendous difference.
Right. It reduces that overnight moisture loss.
Exactly.
Now, let's switch to the high maintenance and oily skin. The goal here is strict oil management, but without overstripping, right? Because
Yep.
that can cause a reactive cycle.
That's the key. You don't want your skin to produce even more oil to compensate. So mild, gel-based, or foamy cleansers used twice daily are necessary to break down the excess sebum.
But the ingredient choice is paramount.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Every single product, moisturizer, sunscreen, makeup must be lightweight, oil-free, and labeled non-comedogenic.
Let's pause there because that term is used everywhere. But what does non-comedogenic actually mean in simple terms?
It just means the product has been formulated specifically not to clog those already enlarged pores. If you use a thick, oil-based moisturizer on an oily face,
You're asking for trouble.
you are guaranteeing congestion, blackheads, and breakouts. It's that simple.
So once the face is clean, how do we prevent that congestion chemically?
This is where targeted exfoliation comes in. You need oil-soluble acids. Salicylic acid, which is a BHA, is crucial because it can penetrate deep into the pore lining and break down that sticky mixture of oil and dead skin cells.
But you can't overdo it.
Definitely not. It's a strong active, so you use it only 2 or 3 times per week to avoid irritation. And for managing shine during the day, keep blotting papers handy. They absorb oil without stripping your protective layer.
Okay, that sounds pretty straightforward. But combination skin seems like an absolute nightmare to manage. Where do people consistently fail when treating it?
They fail by treating the entire face with one product. It's a classic mistake.
Right. If you use an oil-free gel meant for your T-zone on your dry cheeks.
Those areas will just become flakier. And if you use a rich cream meant for your dry cheeks across your entire forehead, you'll cause breakouts.
So the strategy has to be targeted.
It absolutely has to be. You need a gentle, balanced cleanser that doesn't over-dry or over-moisturize. The true success comes from using targeted moisturizers.
So different products for different parts of your face?
Yes, use a lightweight, oil-free lotion on the oily T-zone, and then apply a dedicated, richer cream only to the dry cheek areas. We've even found that multi-masking works wonders.
Oh, so applying a clay mask on the nose and chin?
To absorb sebum, and a hydrating mask simultaneously on the dry outer edges of the face.
That's personalized care right down to the square inch of your face. Woo!
Wow. Okay, let's move beyond the core types to specialized concerns and conditions, because it's important to understand that these can overlay any core type.
Right. Think about dehydrated skin. This is a lack of water, not necessarily oil. You can have incredibly oily skin that is also dehydrated.
Which feels tight and uncomfortable despite all the oil. Exactly. And similarly, congested skin-clogged pores is just the result of dead skin cells and pollutants mixing with sebum. That can affect normal or combination skin, not just oily skin.
Let's dive into the most reactive types then. Sensitive and rosacea-prone skin. The rules here are strict because the skin barrier is just chronically compromised.
The key action is the mandatory use of hypoallergenic and fragrance-free products. You have to eliminate all common irritants, artificial perfumes, strong alcohols, harsh physical exfoliants, all of it.
And when it comes to sun protection for this group, there's a nuance that is absolutely vital.
Yes. For sensitive and rosacea-prone skin, experts strongly recommend physical or mineral sunscreens.
Okay, what are those?
These use ingredients like zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, which sit on top of the skin and create a physical block against UV rays. They are far less irritating than chemical sunscreens.
Which work differently.
Right. They work by absorbing UV rays and converting them into heat, and that process can trigger sensitive reactions.
And for rosacea sufferers specifically, the focus is on trigger avoidance. What are some of those common triggers?
Heat, emotional stress, alcohol, and spicy meals are frequently cited. It's really personalized detective work to isolate yours.
But avoiding those triggers plus gentle sun protection is the primary line of defense.
It is. And physical exfoliants, like harsh scrubs, should be avoided entirely. They just exacerbate the redness.
That brings us to mature skin and the impact of sun damage, which really accelerates that natural aging process defined by the loss of collagen and elastin.
Sun damage is primarily caused by unprotected UVA and UVB exposure. It leads to discoloration, hyperpigmentation, or what we call age spots.
The research consistently highlights two non-negotiable skincare essentials for minimizing and even reversing some of this damage.
Yes. The first is the powerhouse ingredient that sounds intimidating but delivers results: retinoids or retinol.
And what do they do?
Retinoids are vitamin A derivatives that accelerate cell turnover. And, this is the crucial part, they signal the skin to produce more collagen. This minimizes fine lines and wrinkles.
And the second essential?
Vitamin C serums. They are powerful antioxidants. They fight the free radicals caused by pollution and UV exposure. They brighten the complexion, and they help fade existing pigmentation.
And of course, the universal non-negotiable rule that applies across all 5 skin types, but especially mature skin.
Daily application of a broad spectrum SPF 30 or higher.
Every single day.
It is the single best tool for preventing future collagen breakdown and damage. It doesn't matter how many expensive serums you use if you don't protect your face from the sun.
Let's circle back to that central theme, the myth of static skin. We mentioned that your type changes with age. Let's dive deeper into the physiology of those shifts. Why does younger skin lean oily and older skin lean dry?
It's a matter of hormones and, slowing systems. In our teens and 20s, higher hormone levels generally mean increased sebum production.
Leading to oilier complexions and more acne.
Exactly. But as we pass our 30s and 40s, we see a natural progressive decrease in sebum production, collagen synthesis, and elastin.
And for women, there's an exponential factor related to menopause.
Yes, the significant drop in estrogen post-menopause accelerates the loss of collagen, which is responsible for skin structure. And it significantly reduces the skin's ability to retain water.
So that hormonal shift often moves skin from normal or a combination
to persistently dry, thinner, and much more sensitive.
They're the conditions you're vulnerable to change, too.
Precisely. Dry skin, because its barrier is compromised, is more vulnerable to inflammatory conditions like eczema and psoriasis.
Yeah.
Oily skin with that rich environment of excess sebum is vulnerable to chronic acne and seborrheic dermatitis. Understanding your type allows you to preemptively manage these risks.
We also found a really fascinating insight in the research about physiological differences between men's skin and women's skin, which is driven by hormones and impacts care and aging.
There are 3 primary structural differences. First, men's skin is structurally thicker, about 20 to 25% thicker than women's.
And that's largely due to testosterone.
It is. Testosterone drives up collagen production.
And the second difference, related to oiliness, affects men's acne rates.
Yes, men also have larger, more active sebaceous glands. This leads to generally oilier skin and typically higher acne rates, which is why male teenagers often experience more severe breakouts than their female counterparts.
Okay, the third difference about aging is the big aha moment that contradicts a lot of marketing stereotypes. How does the rate of collagen loss differ?
Well, because men start with significantly higher collagen density, they tend to retain skin firmness longer than women do.
But there's a caveat.
There is. The caveat is that when men's thicker skin does start to show aging signs because they lose collagen at a slower, steadier rate, the wrinkles and deeper lines that appear are often more prominent and set in more deeply than those that appear earlier in women.
That truly reinforces why customizing care based on physiological reality, not just general labels, is so essential.
When we zoom out, the core benefit is clear. Customized care, tailored to your specific needs, be it managing hydration, controlling oil, or soothing sensitivity. It prevents common issues and improves long-term skin resilience.
You are guaranteeing that the ingredients you use are beneficial, not damaging.
Exactly.
And remember, if after running the barefaced and blotting tests you are still unsure of your type, or if you're dealing with multiple severe or persistent issues like chronic cystic acne or severe rosacea, the most beneficial step is always to consult a licensed dermatologist for a professional assessment.
Which brings us to our final thought. We've established that skin is constantly impacted by genetics, age, hormones, stress, and environment, meaning your specific type will inevitably change over time.
It's always in flux.
Always. So, since your skin is perpetually reacting to both internal and external stressors, is maintaining perfect skin less about finding a single magic bullet solution and more about engaging in continuous vigilant assessment and adaptation.
Something to think about as you start or maybe restart your new, informed, and truly tailored regimen.